Ladies and gentlemen, it's 6:15 p.m. on this beautiful Tuesday. I have not been in this yard at this time for quite some time. We're gonna make it fun and enjoy myself here. It's been a long day. Day ain't over. I got a lot of maintenance to perform, but it's now on my time. And I got something to show you too. It's over there, that's why I pointed it to the sky. Happy Tuesday. Hope all is going well. We'll get to it. Okay. Disc bines are parked. This farm has got a record amount of hay on the ground. Drop in the bucket to some, maybe even laughable. Don't care about that. This smaller in nature operation, the amount of property that's run, we have got a record amount of hay on the ground. It all starts tomorrow. It starts with that 18 acres-ish of that very thick alfalfa. That's all getting baled and wrapped tomorrow night. I got my crew lined up. Everything is a well-oiled machine. No pun intended. Completely maintenanced, ready for the big dance. The only thing I have to do is tomorrow morning before I leave, I need to baby powder that back roller. You John Deere guys will understand that. Thursday, and by the way, we're going for a little ride too. Thursday starts small squares. The small square market out there is just absolutely insane for multiple reasons. We're gonna get in the shade here. Number one, people are scared. All your hay buyers. And I don't blame them. There's reason to be scared. Things ain't great. Second year drought. Crops took a big hit last year. They weren't worth a damn, and especially your grassland. Two, there's a lot of, I experienced this myself. I lost a handful of hay buyers, small square hay buyers. Reason being, and I think this is pretty honorable, they acquired their own, nice used equipment and, leased some ground and everything else, and they started making hay for themselves. I think that's honorable. That's a pat on the back. I don't care if I lost you as a customer. Touche to you. Well, there's a handful of them that decided it wasn't just worth it. They went through a lot of troubles and problems and everything else between equipment and property and losing property, which can happen, and everything else. So they're kind of back out there. The hay market's also pretty big right now because there's some pretty outrageous prices out there. Some prices that I could not see myself charging, and I don't plan on it. Now, my charges mine aren't exactly cheap for here. Remember where I'm at. I'll just tell you right now, pure grass is $5 a bale, and alfalfa grass mix is $6. A pure alfalfa is $7. Off the wagon. You need to be here and get it off the wagon the day it was baled, the night that we're offloading up into the haymow. Once it hits the haymow, it is not for sale, period. So there's my explanation there. Happy Tuesday. This feels good. So Thursday starts small squares. Not to mention I need to fit in some round baling. I dropped the hills last night. I didn't take you with me on that. We'll take a ride. Friday is small squares again with another piece of property that's been down. And also I knocked down I took that video of that grassland. Saturday is going to be a day of reflection, not to kick back and relax, but to put everything away, start collecting bales, putting wagons away, you name it. And hopefully getting ready for Sunday and Mondays. Rain. Okay, let me make it very perfectly clear. I am not a collector. My checkbook does not let me be a collector. I have been searching for one of these, I call them bar rake. This is a 4-bar rake, sidekick. This is what I grew up with. In fact, I grew up with a New Holland model. But anyway, this is the 640 John Deere. It's a 4-bar. This was no more than 4 or 5 miles from me. It's been sitting in the back of the garage. I guarantee 7 years, if not 9 years, possibly plus. I do believe the gentleman bought it brand new himself, and he is a stickler with equipment. This thing is it's ready to go now. The only thing that's wrong with this, is there's some tire issues. This goes flat within about 30 minutes. It's said to need a tube. I'll find that out. I'll go ahead and slap new tires on there if I have to. Okay, now why is this sitting here? It's called an insurance policy. Laugh at that if you want. I'm glad this happened when it happened and what it is. It's a John Deere 640. I meant to have one of these on the farm 2 years ago or so. Now I have 2 rakes. I have the rotary rake and the double windrow rake. Well, here's the deal, especially with making small squares. Those rotary rakes, now that rotary rake I have is fantastic. I can't knock it. That thing's fantastic. But rotary rakes are tricky. They can go to Hades in a second. And if they do, it's usually pretty devastating. So once again, insurance policy. Now, I've also got the double windrow rake where I can, of course, keep one side up and just, rake one row. Well, here's the deal with the double windrow rake. This is my terminology. It wraps it up like like a sleeping bag. And that's fine, it'll work. These don't. If I told you what I paid for that, and I kind of gave asking price, you'd agree that it needs to be on this farm. I'm very happy about it. I literally just need to do some tire work on there when I get a free gosh darn moment, and so I can head to town. And regardless, that is going to be used this year. I don't think I even told you, those hay wagons ain't mine. This market's nuts. This was brought. This is a first for me, putting hay in other people's wagons, and actually, I'm fine with that. I guess more than fine with it. They just dropped off 2 wagons. Those are getting filled first tomorrow, and we're gonna go from there. After this ride we're gonna take, I got to do some more maintenance. I set up the hay elevator up into the hay mow. It's just sitting there. The motor's on in the belt. Of course, I take that off and stow it in the garage during the winter. You can probably see it. I need to run an extension cord to it, turn it on, and I need to do a grease job, and I need to oil up the chain a little bit. I then need to do some work, maintenance work, and fill up the gas on the wrapper, and gather up some supplies for tomorrow night's wrapping. I guarantee you, I won't have much time. Between being done baling, coming home from chores, and then when my guys show up and start wrapping bales. So I got to get a little bit of that out of the way here this evening. It ain't the greatest, but it's pretty gosh darn good quality. I do have a fear that I'm gonna have to double this up. I'm gonna single it first. I'm gonna have to double this up so we can make an actual proper bale. Some of you understand that. I don't know what else to say. Okay, and then you got the South Hills. You got the North-South Hill and the South-South Hill. I dropped those last night. Now that's going to get round baled on Thursday as well. But here's the deal. If things go extremely well, square baling this chunk of property right here, and if there's time and Dad's still willing, whatever time it is, I'd like to, that's predominant grass. I'd like to maybe fill up a wagon or two on there if possible. See what happens. Otherwise, all round baled. Thick as thieves back here. Of course, we're on nice lower ground. Yeah, I know I've taken you guys up here many times, but yeah, I had a thorn up my you-know-what last evening, and dropped them. It's that simple. It's pretty scrumptious. That's real scrumptious. This was cut with the 925 John Deere disc spine, which is a I'm a little embarrassed here right now. It's a 9-foot something cut. Gotta be honest, this is my first time back here right now. I made a comment about double windrow raking some stuff up here. No, it ain't gonna happen. This is real good right here. And it's a beautiful, beautiful mix. I gotta get my butt in gear here, folks. I wouldn't mind sitting down by about 8:30 to a little bit of dinner and a Western or something. Talk to you sooner or later.